My daughter sold her kids for freedom. 6 years later, she returned to steal my home. Enjoy the video.
My girl left my two grandkids at my house for just 2 days. She never came back. 6 years later, she came with the cops. She said I took them. She thought she won. She saw me as a weak old man. She thought the law would break me. I put a faded green envelope on the judge's desk. He looked at her. He asked, "Do they know about this?" I said, "Not yet. Before we start this bad dream, tell me below where you are from." Like and subscribe to my channel if you think family is about who stays, not just blood. The bad dream did not start with a call or a note. It started with bright blue and red lights. They shone through my drapes at 6 in the morning. I was in the kitchen. I was making black coffee. I did this every day for 6 years. A loud bang broke the quiet morning. It was not a knock. The hard hits shook the whole door frame. My heart beat fast in my chest. I put my cup down. I walked to the door. My old knees hurt from moving fast. I tried to unlock it. The wood broke inward first. Two cops rushed into my living room. Their hands were on their guns. A woman stood behind them. I barely knew her. She wore a silk scarf. The sun was not even fully up. Her coat cost more than my truck. She pointed a nice nail at me. She yelled. Her voice hurt my ears. "That is him, cop. That man took my kids. Arrest him right now." It took a moment to know the face. It was Jessica, my girl. 6 years ago, she left 7-year-old Ethan and 3-year-old Lily here. She said she would be back in an hour for smokes. An hour became 9 days, then 5 weeks, then 6 years of quiet. Now she stood in my hall. She yelled about a kidnapping. I put my hand up slow. I tried to sound calm. "Cops, this is wrong. She left these kids 6 years ago." The cops did not care about my side. One grabbed my arm. He spun me around. He pushed my face on the wall. "You have the right to keep quiet," he said. I could hardly hear him. Steps ran down the stairs. The noise woke Ethan and Lily. I saw them stop on the stairs. Ethan was 12 years old now. He stood in front of his sister to keep her safe. His eyes got big. He saw his grandpa in cuffs. Lily held her bear. She looked at the strange woman in the rich coat, then she looked at me. "Grandpa," Ethan yelled. His voice broke with fear. "What are you doing? Let him go." Jessica ran to them. She faked a loud cry. It made me feel sick. "Oh, my babies," she cried out. She reached for them. "Mommy is here. Mommy will save you from this bad man." Lily yelled. It was a pure sound of deep fear. She hid by the stair rail. She kicked at Jessica. "I do not know you. Go away. Grandpa, help." I felt so angry. I fought the cuffs. The metal cut my wrists. "Do not touch them," I yelled loud. "You can't touch them." The cop hit me harder on the wall. "That is enough, Mr. Arthur. We have a judge's paper. It gives the mom custody for now. You are under arrest. You kept them from her and maybe took them." I could not help. Jessica pulled the crying kids out the front door. Ethan fought, kicked, and bit. The next cop stepped in to put them in a car. I will never forget the look Ethan gave me. The door closed right after. It was a look of total shock and fear. He wanted me to fix it. I fixed all things for 6 years. I put bandages on their knees. I taught him to throw a ball. I held Lily when she had bad dreams. Now they pulled me out like a crook. The woman who left them drove off with my whole world. The ride to the jail was a blur of deep shame. I sat in the back of the cop car. I saw folks look through their drapes. Mrs. Patterson shook her head. The mailmen stopped walking. To them I changed. I was Arthur, the quiet old mechanic. I walked my grandkids to school. Now I was a bad man who took kids. The public had made up its mind. I was losing. They put me in a cold room. It smelled of old coffee and bleach. My wrists hurt. I sat there for hours. I looked at the scratched metal desk. I did not cry. Tears are for people who hope for help. I knew no one was coming. I had to save myself. I saw people move in the hall through the glass. Jessica sat on a bench with a cup of water. She looked like a sad mom. She wiped tears away. I knew they were fake. It was an act. I saw this act when she was a teen. She used it to get out of trouble. Now she was a pro. She looked neat. She looked rich. She looked like a victim. I looked like a rough old guy in a plaid shirt. They thought I kept her kids away. Cop Hayes came in. I knew Hayes since he was new. I fixed his dad's car gear for free in hard times. He sat across from me. He slid a file over the desk. He did not look at my eyes. "Arthur, this is bad," he said low. "A city judge signed a paper for her. She says you kept the kids from her. She says you scared her. She says she went to rehab for 6 years to get clean. She wanted to be a mom. She says you stopped all her calls." I laughed. It sounded dry and mad. Rehab, she looks like she walked a Paris runway, Hayes. Does that look like rehab? Hayes let out a breath and leaned back. Her looks do not matter, Arthur, the papers matter. She has a big lawyer named Sterling. They want the worst charges. They want to show you as a mean, bossy grandpa. They say you used a weak mom. I leaned in. The cuffs hit the desk. I looked right at him. You know me. You know I am the only dad they ever had. You know she left. You worked the night I filed the missing report 6 years ago. You said you could do nothing. She was an adult. She chose to go. I know, Hayes said soft, but the court's like the real mom, Arthur. Even more when she says she is clean and has money. She proved she can pay. She had money now. That was it, money. Jessica left because she was broke. She owed drug dealers. Now she came back in fancy clothes. Her lawyer likely charged $600 an hour. I sat back. It got quiet. I had to think. I had to stop acting fast and make a plan. Jessica was not smart enough to do this alone. Someone helped her. She did not want the kids. She hated being a mom. She whined when they cried. She left them in dirty diapers for hours. I fixed it when I got home from work. She did not want kids. She wanted something else. Why now, Hayes? I asked. My voice was low and calm. Why after 6 years? Why today? Hayes looked at the door. He checked if anyone heard. He got close. She said a thing about the kid's dad. I stopped moving. The kid's dad was David. He died on a bike 8 months before Jessica left. He was a good guy who made bad choices, but he loved them. What about him? I asked. Hayes spoke softer. There was a big life insurance payout. It was stuck in court for years. They looked into the crash. It just paid out last week. It all made sense like a good engine. The insurance cash. Jessica did not get it. David and Jessica were never wed in law. The kids got it. The person who kept the kids ran the money. She is not here for Ethan and Lily, I said. My anger turned cold and hard in my gut. She wants the payout. She needs the kids to get the trust. Hayes stood up. I can't help with that, Arthur. I can only book you. I got the boss to let you go on your own. You have a clean past and your age helps. But there is a stay-away order. Do not go near Jessica or the kids until the Tuesday court date. If you break it, you go to jail. You lose your chance to fight. I stood up. My legs felt stiff. I will not go near them, I lied. They let me out 25 minutes later. I walked into the bright morning sun. The world felt different now. My truck was in my driveway. I had to walk. It was a long walk. 5 miles of blacktop in anger. I turned onto my street. I saw the mess. My front door hung loose. Neighbors stood on their grass. They whispered and pointed at me. I kept my head up. I did not look at them. I walked up my driveway. I passed the trike Lily left there yesterday. I went inside. The quiet felt heavy. It was not nice. It felt like a grave. The air smelled like the pancakes I tried to make. Lily's best stuffed bear lay on the floor. She slept with it each night. A cop boot stepped on it. Mud left a mark on its face. I picked up the bear. I brushed it off. I put it soft on the couch. I did not cry. I did not yell. I went to the kitchen. I poured cold coffee in the sink. I checked the wall calendar. Tuesday. I had 4 days. 4 days to fix 6 years of lies. 4 days to save the kids. She just saw them as a winning ticket. I went down to the basement. I moved my heavy wood table. A small safe hid behind a loose board. My hands did not shake. I put in the code. Cash wrapped in bands sat inside. $60,000. It was all I had. I sold my old truck 4 years ago. I worked night guard shifts. I saved it all for the kids' college. Now it was my war cash. I took the bills. I put them in a cloth bag. I took my old denim jacket. I would not wait here. I would not let a judge give them to a hawk in mouse's clothing. I knew how courts worked. They were slow and blind. I had to move fast. I went out the back door. I walked through the woods out back. I did not use my phone. They might track it. I walked 2 more miles. A gas station pay phone still worked. I called a number. I had not used it in 12 years. Vance picked up on ring 2. He said no hello. He just breathed. I need you, I said. Arthur. Vance sounded rough. I thought you quit this life. I did, but it kicked my door down today. I have $60,000 cash. Find out where my girl went for 6 years. Find out who she sleeps with. Find out who pays her lawyer. I need it right now. Vance said, meet at the 4th Street Diner in an hour. He hung up. I hung up too. I saw my face in the glass. I looked old. I looked tired. But past the gray hair, my eyes showed a man with 0 left to lose. Jessica made a huge error. She thought she fought a grandpa. She did not know I would burn it all down to keep my vow to 2 kids. I pulled my collar up. I walked to the city. The game was a fix. but I would change the rules. I felt my inner jacket pocket. I hid a copied paper there years ago. Jessica forgot this paper. It was my big bomb. I could not use it yet. I had to wait for the right time. She needed to think she won. You do not shoot quick when you hunt a beast. You wait for them to show themselves. You wait till they feel safe. Then you shoot. I got to the diner 12 minutes early. I sat in the back. I faced the door. My hand lay on the cash bag under the desk. I asked for black coffee. The server felt sad for me. She thought I was just a sad old man. Let them think it. Let everyone think it. The war started. I was ready. My empty house was quiet but not nice. It felt like a heavy coat of bad smells and lies. I walked back from the food place. The cash was heavy. I thought I would just see a bad door, but I found a war zone. My safe place was ruined. I taught Ethan to tie shoes and Lily to ride a bike here. Egg yolks dripped down the white walls. They looked like bad cuts. Eggshells broke under my boots in the drive. Someone put black spray paint on my garage. The words dripped and looked rough. Child stealer. I stared at the bad words. The paint was wet. This took place while I met Vance. I looked around the street. Mrs. Patterson normally watered plants right now. Gary across the street would wash his car. The street was empty today. The drapes were shut. I still felt them look. I felt the hate from each window. I knew them for 35 years. They ate at my table. They saw Jessica grow and become a bad dream. Still, one fake claim made them turn on me. I did not clean the paint. I did not wash the eggs. I stepped past the mess. I walked in the broken door. I pushed a heavy chair on it to close it. I walked to the living room. The red light on my phone flashed fast. It was full. I hit play. Rot in hell, sick old man. We know what you did, Arthur. Kids belong with mom. I will call the cops if you go near the park. I heard them all. Neighbors, friends, random folks. Their mad voices made me sick. They knew zero truth. They knew not of nights I held a sick kid while Jessica drank. They knew not of money men knocking hard for her. They just knew the lies. I walked to the TV and turned it on. I knew where the hate came from. It was fast to find. The local news showed a special clip. Breaking news. Mom gets kids back. Big yellow text flashed on screen. Jessica was right there. She sat in a studio chair. Soft light hid the rough lines on her face. She wore a beige cashmere sweater. I never saw it before. It buttoned to her neck. It was a fake outfit. She tried to look weak, clean, and sweet. A news lady sat by her. She nodded in a fake, caring way. "Tell us, Jessica," the reporter asked. She sounded fake. "What took place 6 years ago?" Jessica wiped dry eyes with a tissue. She looked right at the lens. It felt like she stared at me in the dark. "I was sick," she spoke low. Her voice shook just right. "I used too many pills after the kids came. I was a bad mom. I asked my dad for help. I said watch them so I can get clean. I thought I would be gone 5 weeks. She took a shaky breath. "It was a huge lie trick. And when you tried to come back," the news lady asked. Jessica let one tear fall. "He told me if I ever came back he would kill me. He said I was trash. He said he had full custody. He would call cops if I came close. I felt scared. I felt weak. I spent 6 years getting strong to fight him. I worked 3 jobs. I saved all cash for a lawyer. I just wanted my babies." I tossed the clicker at the wall. It broke. It made a dent. The lies were huge. They stole the air from the room. She did not go to rehab. She went to a drug house. Then she left with a bike gang. She worked 0 jobs. She lived off men who paid her way. I never scared her. I begged her to stay and be a mom, but truth was dead, not on the 6 o'clock news. The sad mom and mean grandpa view was too good for TV. Folks wanted to believe it. Hating me made them feel good. I walked to the kitchen. The quiet house felt loud now. I looked at the height marks on the door frame. Ethan's last mark was near my shoulder. Lily grew fast too. They were gone. The world clapped for the one who took them. I sat down. I put my head in my hands. I felt fully alone. My phone used to ring for soccer and school. Now it was a brick of hate. I was an outcast here. A grocery trip would be bad news. The bell rang. It was not cops now. I looked out the blinds. It was Gary, my neighbor for 18 years. We drank beer on the porch. I fixed his mower each spring. I moved the chair and opened the door. Gary stood on the porch. He looked at the egg mess. He did not look at me. "Gary," I said. He looked up. His eyes were cold like rocks. "Do not Arthur me. Feel bad for keeping kids from a mom. I watched Jessica grow up. She was a nice girl. I thought you were too mean to her. Now I know why she ran. Gary, you know nothing about this." I kept my voice calm, but my hands shook. She left them, she went away, she was sick. Gary spit by my feet. And you used that, you stole years from her. Do not fight this if you are a good man, let her be a mom. Skip the block party next week. Do not come. He walked away. He left my good name in ruins. He did not see the man who raised kids. He saw a monster from a short TV clip. I shut the door and locked it. I watched a news van park outside. They put cameras on the walk. They aimed them like guns at my home. They waited for the beast to show. They wanted a show. They wanted a mad old man. They wanted me to yell. Then TV could prove Jessica right. I shut the blinds. I turned lights off. I sat in the dark. I heard the news folks talk. They felt I was stuck. They felt I was scared and beat. But they were wrong. I was safe inside. I was sharp. I was not beat. I just waited for night. I went to the kitchen for food. I ate it. I stood by the sink. I tasted zero. I needed energy. I had work to do tonight. I could not win the street fight. Jessica won that part. Her fake tears beat my facts, but real courts need proof, not acts. I thought of the green envelope hidden in my coat. I thought of the intel Vance looked for. Let them throw eggs and paint my home. Let them yell on the street. It meant nothing. None of it did. Jessica made a slip. That was all that mattered. She got too brave. She walked into the light. She showed her weak side. She felt the past was deep and lost. She felt drugs and bad acts washed away in 6 years of quiet. She forgot I fix machines. I know how to open things and find bad parts. I know how to fix them too. I looked at my watch. Vance would call soon. The hate acts hurt. Being hated is bad, but pain is good. It keeps you up. Pain keeps you smart. I looked at Ethan and Lily's photo on the fridge. A pizza magnet held it. They smiled with ice cream on their faces from last year. Wait, kids, I said to the empty room. Grandpa is not done. Outside, a rock broke the front glass. Shards flew on the floor. I did not jump. I stayed still. I just swept the glass up and waited. The next morning sun brought no heat. It just brought light. I waited for the news van to get coffee. Only a few folks with cameras stayed. I slid out the back door again. I moved quiet and smooth. I felt like a crook in a town I built. I had no time to feel sad for myself. I needed cash for a war. I went to the bank on Main Street. I used that bank for 35 years. I knew worker names. I knew the boss's kids' birth dates. But when I walked in, the mood changed fast. Talking stopped. Eyes moved. The worker, Susan, put up a closed sign fast. No one was in her line. I walked to the boss's room. Mr. Mitchell played cards with me on Fridays. He looked up from his desk. His face went white. He stood up. He did not say hi. He looked ready to fight me. I am not here to talk, Bill, I said hard and flat. I want my cash. Arthur, he shook and fixed his tie. I saw the news. Come back later. The cops might check big cash moves. I put my hands on his nice desk. It is my cash, Bill. Unless it is frozen. I know it is not. I checked 12 minutes ago. I want my cash, all of it. How much? He asked. He looked at the door. 60,000 in bills. Big bills, he choked. 60,000, Arthur, that is all. It is for college and old age. You said it was for the kids. It is for the kids. I will use it to buy their lives back. Go get the cash. He waited too long. He reached for his phone. Do not call cops, Bill. I will make a big scene. It will make the news look tame. I will tell folks about that hidden cash account you talked of at card game last year. His hand stopped. He nodded slow. He knew. Folks had secrets here. I never used them like this before. Today was full of new things. He walked me to the vault. I watched him count piles of $120 bills. The cash smelled of ink, cloth, and greed. To me, it smelled like gas and oil. That cash was my 1970 Ford F-100. I fixed it up and sold it sad 4 years ago. It was 6 years of long shifts, guarding crates while my bones hurt. It was missed meals and patched boots. It was all I gave up so Ethan and Lily had a start. Now I spent it all in 2 days. I would do it all again fast. I took the fat pack. I shoved it in my inner coat pocket. It felt heavy on my ribs like a new heart. I left the bank and said zero thanks. Town eyes watched me leave. I cared zero. I had my ammo now. I got a cab. I gave an address that made the driver look weird. The South Side. The city part with dead lights and cop sirens all day. People hide there or they find folks who do not exist on paper. The car dropped me on a bad corner. It smelled of old beer and fumes. I pulled my collar up. I walked to a fading neon sign. The Blue Note. It was not a jazz place. It was a dark dump. The floor stuck. Folks asked no stuff. I pushed the big door open. The dark felt good after bright morning. My eyes got used to the dark. I looked around. A few old folks sat at the bar. They drank stuff like paint remover. The man I wanted sat in the back dark booth. Vance. He had not changed in 12 years. He wore a wool coat that looked slept in. His face showed scars and bad choices. He smoked a butt. He ignored the wall sign. Vance was a spy, like a shark is just a fish. He was fast, mean, and dirty. He was a cop once. He got tired of rules. Now he worked for cash. He did things the law could not do. I slid in across from him. He kept looking at his glass. "Arthur," he said. His voice was rough. "You look bad." "I feel bad, Vance." He looked up. His eyes were sharp, smart, and felt zero care. "I saw you on TV. They made you look awful, old man, a crook and abuser." "You know it is a lie," I said. Vance smoked and moved his shoulders. "Truth pays zero rent, Arthur. How things look pays. You look like the bad guy now." "Why are you here? Need a spin team." I reached in my coat and took the pack out. I tossed it on the bad table. It hit with a loud sound. Vance looked at the pack, then at me. He put his smoke out. He opened the flap a bit to see the green bills. He gave a long, low whistle. "That is a ton of mower fixes, Arthur. It is $60,000, all I own." Vance leaned back and crossed his arms. "Big cash. You want a hit?" "No," I said. "I want someone shown in the light. Rip Jessica's life apart. Find where she was each day for 6 years. Find who she slept with. Find her debts, her food, and her drugs. Find out about this man she dates now. Carmen, I want his work, his foes, and his weak spots." Vance nodded slow. He thought, "You want dirt." "I want the whole trash pile, Vance. She says she was in rehab. I know she was not. She says she worked 3 jobs. I know she did not. She has a lawyer named Sterling. He costs more than she could ever pay. Find who pays him. I want the paper trail. Give me names. Give me dates." Vance drank. "Sterling is a snake. He is sharp but dirty. If he is in it, it is not just a kid case. It is a big theft." "Right," I said. "They want the insurance cash from the kid's dad. I need proof. I need hard proof for court, or stuff to make them run before court." Vance tapped his hands on the pack. "This is bad, Arthur. If Carmen is who I think, he is mob boss. He is not a street punk. He is top crime. You poke a bear with a very small stick." "I am not poking it," I said. I leaned close to his face. "I am hunting it. They took my grandkids, Vance. They took Ethan and Lily. You recall them. You saw baby pictures." Vance looked a bit soft for a split second. "I recall." "Then you know I will not stop. I care zero if Carmen is the bad guy himself. I will burn him down, but I need ammo." Vance picked up the pack. He weighed it. He put it in his coat. "You have 60 hours. I will put my top rats on the street. If she has secrets, I will find them. If she dropped a wrapper 6 years ago, I will find it. Go home, Arthur. Lock doors. Speak to no cops." I stood up. I felt oddly light. The cash was gone. My safe net was gone, but I had a weapon. "One more thing," Vance said as I turned. "Yeah, if I find what I think I will find, you may hate it. Truth is ugly." "I have seen ugly," I said. I thought of Ethan's fear as he was dragged off. "Just bring the proof." I walked out of the bar. I went into the harsh sun. I paid a dark man to save my only bright light. It was a wild, bad move. I got a cab to my empty, ruined house. It was my only move left. Cash was just paper. Ethan and Lily were my blood. I would spend all drops to bring them home. 60 hours became 30 hours. Vance did not need 2 days to find her bad secrets. He just needed 1 night to dig up the whole yard of bones. He came to my back door late. Street lights were on. His wool coat was wet from the mist. His face was hard. The news was super bad. He asked for 0 drinks or seats. He walked in the kitchen. He passed the bad door. He dropped a thick pack on the table. It hit the wood hard. It sounded like a judge's hit for a death doom. I looked at the pack, then at Vance. His eyes were red. He looked like he walked in hell all night and brought back a gift. "Open it," he said rough. "Be ready, Arthur. You will not see your girl. You will see a stranger." My hands shook. I opened it. I dumped the stuff on the table. Bright photos fell out. They showed a life I did not know. There were tons, sneak shots from far away, dark and grainy pics, web prints that showed too much cash. The first pic showed Jessica, not the one who cried on TV yesterday in a beige cashmere sweater. This woman wore a silk cocktail dress. It was very short. She stood on a porch. The city looked like Reno or Lake Tahoe. She held a wine glass in one hand. She held game chips in the other. She looked wild. She looked high. She looked scared. I looked at the next few pics. Jessica at a big poker game, Jessica getting in a long car, Jessica wearing a rich gem chain. It caught the light. A dark shadow was over her in all pics. A man. He was in almost every shot. He was older, maybe early 50s. He had slick hair. His suits cost more than my house. His face looked nice in a bad way. A knife is nice, sharp and bad. In one pic his hand was on her neck. It looked like a soft touch. But closer you saw his fingers dig hard into her skin. His knuckles were white and tight. He did not hold her, he steered her. "Who is he?" I asked. I held a pic where he stared right at the lens with dead eyes. "That is Carmen," Vance said. He spit the name like a bad word. "Real name is Vincenzo Romano. The street calls him the Vulture. He runs a bad loan shop from a fake company in Delaware. He gives cash to folks banks will not touch. He does not take normal fees, Arthur. He takes lives." I looked at the pics. The shine faded. I saw the real bad stuff. Dark rings were under Jessica's eyes. Thick makeup hid them. The smiles were fake. She leaned away from him while holding his arm. She lived with him for 4 years. Vance pointed to a rent paper. He put her in a huge top flat. He bought the clothes. He paid for it all. But nothing is free. Jessica liked big money games. She thought she could win big and buy her way out. But she dug a super deep hole. She cannot see the sky now. I pushed the pics away. I picked up a paper full of numbers. It was a money log copy. The numbers were huge. $250,000, Vance said. He answered before I asked. "That is the base. With the extra fees, she owes him near $300,000. Carmen is done waiting. He gave a final deal 3 weeks ago, pay or go away. When Carmen says go away, he does not mean a new town. He means a dirt hole in the Everglades." The room tilted. $250,000, that was why she came back. That was why she needed the kids. It was not just the dad's death cash, but that was part of it. It was bigger. "She needs collateral," I whispered. The thought made me sick. Vance nodded hard. "She needs quick cash. The death cash is a start, but trusts take time. Carmen wants cash now." She offered him other things she does not own yet. I looked at Vance confused. "What things?" She has 0. "You do," Vance said. He pulled out a home sale paper. It was my home, my safe place. Sold on a hidden site for cash buyers who ask no things. It said pending. "She tells Carmen in courts you are bad," Vance said. "When she gets the kids, she runs their stuff. Also, she asks to make you look crazy or guilty of taking kids. If she wins, she can sell your things to pay for kid care and sad hurt. She will sell your home, Arthur. She will sell it all to pay a bad mob guy." I looked at my kitchen. I put the cabinets in myself, the table we ate at. It was all just a line on a money log to her. She would trade 35 years of my life to buy a month of air. "And the kids?" I asked in a whisper. "What about Ethan and Lily?" Vance looked at his boots. "That is the worst part. Carmen is no babysitter. He hates loose ends. Jessica swore when the cash comes, she and the kids move to his Arizona camp. She is selling them to him, Arthur. She takes them to a world where pain is cash. Ethan is 12. In Carmen's world, that is old enough to run packs. Lily is 8. I do not want to say what happens to little girls when moms owe big cash. I walked the small kitchen. The anger changed. It was not hot now. It was cold and sharp. It was the anger for survival. Jessica was not just a bad mom. She was a beast. She would feed her kids to a monster to save herself. She brought the devil to my door. She expected me to open it. "Does Carmen know about the kids?" I asked. "He knows they are the key," Vance said. "He pays her law team. Sterling is on his pay list. He is not a family lawyer. He is a cleaner. He makes issues go away in law. Carmen does not have to hit them. They come for you with it all. Arthur, they have the law, they have the news, and they have the muscle." I picked up Carmen's pick. I put his face to memory. Cold, dead eyes, smug look. He felt no one could touch him. He thought he dealt with a weak grandpa. He had no idea about the man who left the jungle in 70. He did not know about the man who held a secret for 6 years, waiting for a chance to use it. "Is she with him?" I asked. Vance nodded. "They are at the Royal Plaza Hotel, top floor. The kids are there too. My guy is watching the lobby. They have not left the room since they took the kids. They are waiting for court on Tuesday. I had 4 days. 4 days until a judge gave my grandkids to a crook." I looked at the file. The photos told a bad story, but it was also a weapon. Showing this to the judge might cause doubt, but doubt was not enough. Sterling was a smart lawyer. He would say the photos were old. He would say Jessica was different now. He would twist it. I needed hard proof. I reached into my pocket. I touched the folded paper. I always kept the green envelope. Vance watched me. You have more, right? You have an ace. I do, I said, but I must wait. They need to feel safe. They must enter court thinking they won. I want them proud. Vance stood and buttoned his coat. You play a risky game, Arthur. If you miss, you lose it all. I will not miss, I said. Vance nodded and went to the door. Keep the file. It has more inside. Bank papers show money moved 6 years ago. Copies of fake checks she wrote. It shows a habit, but the debt is the real reason. That is the hard proof. Thanks, Vance, I said. He stopped at the door. Do not thank me yet. Just get the kids. And Arthur, if Carmine comes here, do not talk. Just shoot. Then he left. He faded into the dark fast. I sat alone. Proof of my daughter's lies was all around me. The face of the man who held the kid's future looked up from the photo. I took a knife. I stabbed the picture into the table. I am coming, I whispered to the quiet room. I picked up the photos. I put them in the folder. I had the reason. I had the bad guy. Now I had to be sure of one thing. When I went to court, I was not just fighting back. I had to be the judge. I went to the window. I looked at the dark street. It was quiet. But the peace was a lie. A bad storm was near. And for the first time in years, I did not fear the noise. I was the strike. The kitchen was dark. A street lamp shone through the broken window. I sat at the table. My hands formed tight fists. The file Vance gave me lay open. It was a map of her bad deeds, but I stopped reading. I waited. I looked at the small black phone on the table. I gave it to Ethan 2 years ago. I said it was for help if he played in the woods or got lost. I showed him how to charge it and turn off the sound. I also showed him where to hide it, under the pad in his left shoe. I said it was our secret spy tool. I hoped he recalled. I hoped it had power. When it buzzed, it was loud in the quiet house. I picked it up fast. Ethan, I whispered. My heart beat hard. Grandpa. His voice was tiny. It was a weak, shaking whisper. It hurt me to hear. I am here, Ethan. I am right here. Are you safe? Can you speak? We are in the bathroom, he said low. I locked the door. I turned on the water so they cannot hear. Grandpa, we are in a hotel. It is very high. I see the whole city. Are you okay? Did they hurt you? My arm hurts. Mom grabbed me, he said. He gave a small cry. But Grandpa, we are so hungry. We did not eat since yesterday. There were nuts in the fridge, but Mom yelled at Lily for touching them. She said they cost $12. We have no money to waste. She said we must wait for her pay. Anger burned my eyes. She let them starve. She sat in a rich room with fine clothes, yet she would not feed her kids. She saved all her cash for debts. Is she there? Is she with you? She is in the next room with him, Ethan said. That man, Carmine, they fight Grandpa. They yell. He hit her. I heard it. It was a loud smack. She cried a bit. Now they just drink. It smells bad here like old smoke. I shut my eyes. I pushed the bad thought away. My child hurt by the beast she brought home, but I felt no pity. I only cared for the kids. Ethan, listen. Stay in the bathroom. Keep the door locked. I cannot, Grandpa, Ethan cried softly. Lily is scared. She wants to go home. And Grandpa, that man scares me. What did he do, Ethan? Tell me. He keeps looking at Lily. I lost my breath. The room turned. What do you mean? He looks at her. Before we came here, he sat by her, Ethan said. His voice fell to a scared whisper. He touched her hair. He said she will be very pretty, just like Mom. He tried to pull her on his lap. I pulled her back. I said, stop. He just laughed. Grandpa, he laughed. He said I must learn respect, or he would teach me. He looked at her like a hawk looks at a mouse. That was it. That was the limit. The legal plan, the court dates, the proof in the green envelope, it all vanished. The law was too slow. The cops were too slow. A bad man was with my 8-year-old grandkid. He touched her hair. A man who took lives for fun. Where is Lily? I asked. My tone was cold and hard. She sleeps in the tub, Ethan said. She cried to sleep. Grandpa, please come get us. I am scared. He has a gun. I saw it by the drink. I am coming, Ethan, I said. I am coming now. Do not end the call. Put the phone in your shoe. Leave it on. If they come, do not speak. Let me hear. I must know where you are. I put the phone in my pocket. The line stayed open on my chest. I stood up. The chair fell down. I left it there. I went to the cellar. I did not walk like an old man. I marched like a soldier to war. I went to my bench. I pushed the toolbox away. I pulled up a loose floor piece. I left it alone since I came back from war. A heavy old tire iron sat in an oily rag. It was no gun. I kept no guns near kids, but up close an iron bar was my kind of tool. I knew how to break bolts with it. Tonight I would break a new thing. I took thick tape and a big light. I put on hard work boots. I felt my pockets. The green envelope, the cash, the phone, it pressed on my chest. I heard Ethan breathe softly. I walked to my truck. I ignored the court order. I ignored the cops watching my home. I did not care if I went to jail forever. If Carmen touched one hair on Lily's head, he would die before court. I turned the key. The engine let out a loud, angry roar. I backed out. I crushed the eggs on the street. I did not look at the other homes. I ignored the black spray paint on my garage. I only looked at the road. It led to town, to the Royal Plaza Hotel, to the beast who thought he could hurt my blood. "Wait, Ethan," I whispered to my pocket. "Grandpa is on his way. I bring hell with me." I pressed the gas pedal down. The truck jumped fast. It tore through the quiet roads like a mad beast. Talking time was done. Law time was done. It was time to fight. The drive to the hotel was a fast blur of bright lights and deep anger. My old truck screamed as I pushed the engine hard. I kept it like a classic, but not tonight. I ran red lights. I did not slow for turns. Each second meant Carmen was in that room with my grandkid. The thought of a hawk looking at a mouse burned in my head. It fed a fire that burned away all fear. I was not a normal man now. I was a weapon. I skipped the parking garage. I drove the truck over the edge. I parked right by the gold doors. The tires squealed on the smooth stone. A man in a red vest ran to me. He yelled and waved his arms. Then he saw my face. He froze at once. I stepped out. The iron bar was cold and heavy in my grip. It was wrapped in the oily rag like a club. I did not run. Running brings eyes. I walked hard and sure like a falling rock. The lobby was rich and grand. It had clear glass lights and soft rugs. A desk clerk reached for a phone. I marched past him. My boots left dirty marks on the clean floor. His eyes grew big when he saw the iron bar. I did not look at him. I looked at the lifts. The numbers went down, top floor. That is where beasts lived. The doors opened at the top. It was very quiet. The silence felt thick and rich. I walked down the hall. I counted the doors. 2201, 2202. Then I heard a yell. It was not a kid. It was Jessica. "Get off me. Give me the bottle." Next was a loud thump. A body hit the wall. Then a kid gave a soft cry. "Lily." All my polite ways left me. I did not knock. I did not say hello. I stepped back. I held the iron bar with two hands. I put 35 years of hard work into a swing at the lock. The door was thick wood and strong metal, but wood breaks, metal snaps. The first hit cracked the frame. It sounded like a gun in the still hall. Inside, things went quiet. I swung once more. The wood broke. The bolt showed. I kicked it hard. The fear of a grandpa drove my boot. The door flew open. It slammed the inside wall. I went in. The smell hit me right away. Old smoke, bad drink, and raw fear. The room was a mess. Lamps lay on the floor. Clothes were tossed around. Jessica lay curled on the rug. She held her face. Carmen stood right over her. He turned slow. He was not afraid. He looked mad. His sleeves were rolled. His tie hung loose. A glass of drink was in his hand. On the table behind him sat the black gun. Ethan warned me about it. It was just out of reach. "Are you the old man?" Carmen asked. His tone was slick. "You want to die, Grandpa? Leave before I stopped his words. I did not come to talk. I did not come to deal. I crossed the floor in 2 steps. Carmen was quick, young, and cruel. He threw the glass right at my face. It broke on my head. Drink and blood stung my eyes for a flash. I kept moving. I swung the iron bar low. I aimed for his knee. It hit with a loud crack. Carmen yelled out. His leg gave way, but he did not fall. He jumped at me. His shoulder hit my chest hard. We fell onto a small table. Glass broke under our weight. My world shrank. I smelled his rich scent and foul sweat. He was very strong. Pride and drugs gave him power. He hit my jaw. A tooth came loose. My head went back. The room grew dark at the sides. He sat on me. His hands grabbed my neck. He squeezed tight. "You old fool," he yelled. Spit hit my face. "You think you can beat me? I will break your neck. I will make the kids watch." Naming the kids woke me up fast. I was not fighting a man. I fought a sick beast. I let go of the bar with one hand. I pushed my thumb under his jaw. It was a weak spot from old army days. He choked. His hold got weak for a second. That was enough. I pushed up hard. He lost his balance. We rolled on the rug. A big vase fell over. I got on my knees. I took deep breaths. Blood ran into my eyes. Carmen was up too. He limped. His face showed deep hate. He did not look at me now. He looked at the table. He saw the gun. He jumped for it. No, I yelled loudly. I dove ahead. I aimed for his legs, not his chest. I grabbed him right as he touched the cold gun. We hit the floor harder this time. The gun slid away. It went under the couch. Carmen kicked my side. I felt a bone break. The pain was hot and sharp. It took my breath away, but I held his ankle. I gave it a twist. I fixed cars. I knew about force. I knew a joint breaks if you turn it the wrong way. I twisted with all my might. Carmen let out a high scream. It did not sound human. He scratched at the rug. He tried to pull away. I kept my grip. I moved up his body. I ignored his kicks. I ignored my hurt chest. I picked up the fallen iron bar. I held him down. My knee pushed on his chest. I held the bar up high. He looked up. I saw fear in him at last. True fear. He knew it was the end. He saw my hard choice in my eyes. Do not, he choked out. He raised one hand. I will pay you. I will give you all you want. I stared at him. I saw the man who scared my grandson, the man who saw my grandkid as food. I wanted to strike. My whole body yelled to end it for good. Arthur, stop. The voice cut my anger. It was Jessica. She stood in the door. She held her hurt face. She looked at me with deep shock. No thanks at all, just shock. You will kill him. You are mad. I looked at my child. She did not see a hero. She saw a bad man hurting her cash flow. She ran to me. She pulled my arm. Get off him. You ruin it all. The sad truth hurt more than Carmen's punch. She helped the beast. She kept the man safe who just hit her. His money meant more to her than her dad. I pushed her away, not too hard, but she stepped back. I looked at Carmen. He gave a mean smile. He saw our fight. He felt my weak spot. I put the bar down slow. I got close to his face. The rusty iron touched his skin. If you ever, I growled low, if you ever say her name again, if you look at her, next time I will not stop. I will take you apart piece by piece. I stood up. I shook on my feet. The rush left my blood. My broken ribs and hurt face began to ache bad. I looked around. Ethan, Lily, I called. My voice was rough. The washroom door opened a bit. Two small faces looked out. Ethan held a brush like a knife. Lily was in back. Her eyes were big. They saw my blood. They saw me shake, but I stood tall. They did not scream. They ran to me. They hit my legs hard. They hugged me tight. They hid their faces in my dirty pants. I dropped the iron bar. It fell with a loud clang. It was useless now. The job was done. I fell to my knees. I put my arms around them. I ignored the sharp pain in my chest. I smelled clean soap, raw fear, and deep relief. I have you, I whispered into Ethan's hair. Grandpa is here. Behind me, loud sirens cried far away. They came closer. The hotel clerks called the cops. Good, let them come. Carmen pulled himself to the couch. He groaned and held his bad knee. Jessica cried hard. Not for her kids. She cried for the man who bought her things. She tried to help him. She whispered she was sorry. She played the pretty girl. At the same time, her kids held the man she called a thief. You are done, old man, Carmen spat. He wiped blood from his mouth. You go to jail for life. I own the cops here. You just killed yourself. I stood up. I kept the kids behind me. I wiped blood from my eyes with my shirt. Maybe, I said, but you will not touch them again. Cops filled the door. They held up guns. Drop the weapon, hands up. I raised my empty hand slow. I did not look at the police. I looked at Jessica. Tell the truth, Jess, I said. I used her old pet name. Say he hit you. Say he scared the kids. This is your chance. Be a mom for once. Jessica looked at the cops. Then she looked at Carmen. He gave her a hard, mean stare. She looked at the kids. She looked at me. Her face grew cold. Her fake mask returned. He broke in, she yelled. She pointed at me just like yesterday. He is mad. He tried to kill my man. He hit us. Look at his work. My heart did not break this time. It turned to solid rock. I looked at Ethan. It is fine, I said. Be brave. Tell the truth. A cop grabbed me. He spun me around. Cold steel locked my wrists. The second time in 2 days, they pulled me from the kids. Lily screamed again. She reached out. Grandpa, no. They pushed me out the door. We passed people staring in the hall. I gave one last look. Carmen smiled. Jessica cried fake tears on a cop's arm, but I did not lose. A cop pushed my head down at the lift. I leaned close to Jessica on the way. I still have the green envelope, I whispered. Real fear filled her eyes. Her tears stopped right away. She knew, she recalled. The war was not over, it just changed places. And this time I would hit hard. I saw a demon, I made him bleed. Now I would send him to hell. A cop car smells like stale sweat and lost hope. I sat in the back with tight cuffs. The city sped past the wire cage. I felt no fear now, just a cold, quiet calm. The rush of the fight died away. Bad pain in my ribs took its place. The cut on my head stung a lot, but my mind was very sharp. I lost the fight at the hotel. Jessica acted very well. She threw herself at the first cop. She cried loud. She said her mad dad broke in to kill her man. Carmen had a bad knee and hurt face. Yet he played the good hero. He did not ask for charges right then. He acted like a kind victim. "We just want him gone," he said. He held ice to his jaw. "He is sick in the head." The cops did not ask Ethan or Lily for the truth. They saw a hurt pair. They saw a mad man with an iron bar. They saw a scared mom. They did what the play required. They locked up the bad guy. The jail steps were known to me, but they felt worse now. Ink on my fingers, a quick photo. Taking my belt and laces was sad. Officer Hayes was not there to show pity. A young cop named Davis sat across from me. He looked very tired. "Mr. King," he said. He slid a paper over the desk. "You are in deep trouble, breaking in, hitting with a bad weapon, breaking a court rule. The law wants tough charges. You face 7 to 12 years. I did not touch the sheet. I looked right at him. "I went because my grandkids were in harm's way. They called me." "We checked them," Davis said flatly. "They are okay, scared and hungry, yes, but okay." Child Services looked at them. "The mom has the right to keep them. You have 0 rights." "She is a drug user. She left them for 6 years," I said softly. "Her man is a bad crook. He scared an 8-year-old girl," Davis sighed. "That is just your story. Right now a court rule backs their story, and you broke it with an iron bar. The judge took your bail away. You stay here until court on Tuesday. Be very clear, Mr. King. You lose all rights to see them. Do not talk to the kids or the mom again. Send 1 letter and we crush you." I leaned back in my hard chair. "I get it," I said. Davis looked shocked by my calm. He thought I would fight. He thought I would yell. I did not need to. I planted the seed already. Cops led me from the hotel room. I had cuffs and bled. I stopped by Jessica. She cried in a tissue. She looked away. I leaned close. I ignored the cop's firm grip. I whispered, "I still have the green envelope." She went rigid. Her tears dried up at once. Her eyes met mine. Real dread filled them. She recalled it well. She thought of the night 6 years ago. She signed her rights away so she skipped jail. She recalled the official stamp. She knew my vow. "If you return to hurt them, I use this." She thought I lost the paper. She thought I was a weak old fool. She thought I lost my only tool. But her look proved she knew I spoke truth. Now I sat in a cell. I gave a small smile. It was not happy. It was the grin of a hunter. I set a great trap. Jessica would tell Carmen she had no choice. Carmen lived by fear and strong rules. He would demand to know about the envelope. He would push her hard. He would want facts. That heavy force would break their weak bond. I lay on the thin bed. I looked up. My bones hurt, but my soul was steel. They thought they stopped me. They thought jail ended my fight. They were wrong. Locking me up gave me the one thing I needed: time. Time to let dread grow in Jessica's head. Time for Vance to do his job. Time for their lies to break down. I shut my eyes. I thought of Ethan and Lily. They were safe for now. Jessica would not hurt them with cops watching her. She had to act like a great mom until court. "Tuesday," I whispered to the dark. "Just wait for Tuesday." A door slammed down the hall. It rang like a loud shot. I was stuck here. No free will, no family. But in my mind, I stood in court. I held the green envelope to crush them. I did not lose. I just paused to load my gun. Sunday in jail is pure hell. The air smells of cheap wax and dirty men. Loud metal doors break the quiet calm. Sad men talk low. I sat on my cot. I looked at the gray floor. I counted lines in the stone. I waited for my free lawyer. His name was Brooks. He looked too young to shave. He worked too hard for low pay. But he was my link to the free world. He had to tell me about the court order. He had to show me how to fight. The law saw a birth mom as perfect and a grandpa as a pest, but Brooks did not show up. At 2:00, a guard opened my door. He called me out. We did not go to the visit room. We went to the boss's desk. That was bad news. A man in a cheap suit stood there. He said he worked for the free lawyers. He looked away from me. "Mr. King," he said. He moved papers around. A bad thing happened. Mr. Brooks had a big car crash today. My gut sank. A crash? Does he live? I asked. He is very hurt, the man said. A big black car ran a red light. It hit his side door fast. The bad driver sped off. It was a hit and run. A deep chill hit me. It was not the cold air. A big black car, a hit and run. This was no mistake. It was a threat. Carmine fixed his problems. He moved things out of his way. Brooks was just a smart kid. They crushed him like a tin can just to strip me of help. The man coughed. Due to this sad event, the judge will wait. We can move the child court back 5 weeks. We will find you a new lawyer. 5 weeks. 5 weeks for Carmen to take my kids far away. 5 weeks for Jessica to vanish. 5 weeks for Lily to forget me. No, I said. The man blinked hard. What? He asked. No delay, I stated. Court happens Tuesday as planned. Sir, you lack facts. You have no lawyer. You face big crime charges and a tough kid fight. You cannot go alone. I leaned in close. If I wait 5 weeks, the kids are lost. I ignore the bad charges. I ignore jail time. I care for the kids. I will speak for myself. The man thought I was mad. He tried to fight my choice. I stopped him. I signed the paper. I gave up my right to a good lawyer. A good lawyer took too much time. I was walking into the fire with no shield. I had no other path. Back in my cage, the cold facts hit me. I fixed cars. I did not know law. I built motors. I did not ask smart questions. I had the real facts. But in court, a fact is just a tale if you lack proof. 1 hour passed. The guard returned. You have a guest, King. A lawyer. I thought the free office sent a new guy, but I walked into the visit room. The man past the glass was no free lawyer. His suit cost more than my yearly pay. His gold watch shone bright. His smile looked like a sharp blade. It was Sterling, Jessica's lawyer, the cruel shark Carmen hired. He took the phone on his side. I took mine. Mr. King, he said in a slick tone, glad to meet the man making a big mess. What is it, Sterling? I asked. I bring a rope to save you, he said. I heard of your legal help. Very sad. City roads are rough. The hint was soft but clear. They could hit anyone. I kept my face blank. Speak your piece. Sterling opened his bag. He took out 1 page. He put it on the glass. It was a paper to give up my home. Here is the trade, Arthur. Can I say, Arthur, give your home to Jessica now. She takes back the kidnap claim. We tell the cops she got it wrong. You were just a lost old man. The hit charges fade. Carmen will not talk. You go free today. I read the sheet. This was the final plan. They did not just want the kids. They wanted my wealth. They needed the home to pay Carmen. If I signed, I lost my house. I lost all cash. I could never see Ethan and Lily again, but I would leave jail. And if I say no, I asked. Sterling smiled. It was a scary sight. If no, we do court on Tuesday. With no lawyer, you fall hard. I will paint you as a mad, cruel, sick beast. You get 12 years in jail for hitting Carmen. Jessica wins the house in a cash suit anyway. You lose it all, Arthur. This way you stay a free man. He leaned close. His breath made mist on the glass. Think hard. You are 72. Do you wish to die in a cage? I looked at the home paper. I looked at Sterling's proud face. He thought he won. He thought he beat the old fool. He had no clue of the green envelope. He did not know of the book Vance sought right now. He was blind. I would gladly die in jail to stop her from selling the kid's life. I said 0 words. I hung up my phone. Sterling lost his grin. He hit the glass with his gold pen. Bad choice, old man. There is no third way. I stood up. I waved to the guard. I turned away. He yelled hard through the thick glass. His cool act broke. I kept walking. I was on my own. My lawyer slept in a deep coma. My foes were rich and mean. But my metal door slammed shut. I felt very calm. They acted in pure panic. The crash, the talk, the deal, it all reeked of deep fear. They had to get the house fast. Their clock ticked fast like mine. Panicked people slip up. I sat on my bed. I shut my eyes. I had 2 nights to prep for the top fight of my life. I did not need law school. I needed pure luck. If luck stayed away, I must build my own. Jail time ignores clocks. It counts water drops and heavy bootsteps. I lay on my bed. I stared at the rusty metal above. I counted the ticks to Tuesday. Fake words locked me in this cage, but my brain was free and fast. I knew my plan walked the city while I sat here. Vance was out there. He was my hands and eyes. He was my last hope. I told him the name right before the cops took me. Mrs. Carmichael. It was a name written on an old art piece Ethan drew 6 years ago. A sketch of a home that was not mine. A big risk, a ghost from long ago, but Vance could speak to ghosts. I walked the short floor of my cell. Vance drove his old car to a broken house near the factories. He said later it smelled of damp paper and dirty cats. Wood covered the glass. The front steps dipped from deep rot. Folks went there to hide. Jessica took my kids to this bad spot before she left them at my door. Vance hit the wood hard. He did not tap softly. Time was too short. The door squeaked open. A dry, wrinkled lady stood there. Mrs. Carmichael was 82 for sure. She held a smoke in one hand. She grasped a bat in the next. She looked hard at Vance. Her cloudy eyes held deep doubt. "What is it, cop?" she croaked. Smoke left her mouth. "I paid tax since '84. Go away." "I am no cop," Vance said. He held up a photo of Jessica. "I seek her. She lived here 6 years ago." "Ran from the rent, I bet." Mrs. Carmichael, wrapped in a store bag to keep dry. A red spiral notebook, the kind for school. Vance wiped dirt off the front. He opened it. The writing was wild. The messy words showed a crazed mind. It was a dark journal. He turned the sheets. It held wild rants about Cash. She wrote the world was cruel. She wrote she hated being a mom. Near the back he found a note, written 2 days before she left the kids. Vance shot a photo with his phone. He sent it to a safe place. He pushed the book in his coat. He walked to the porch. Mrs. Carmichael watched him. "Fine good stuff," she laughed hard. Vance stayed quiet. He gave her a $120 bill. "You never saw me," he said. He drove right to the jail. It was time for guests. He asked a guard pal for a quiet room. I sat across from him. He spoke no words. He pushed the book through the glass hole. "Read the marked sheet," he said. I opened it. The paper felt dry and smelled of rot. I turned to the fold Vance made. My hands shook. I read my girl's words. "May 14th, I cannot take more. The kids drag me down. Carmen says I must be free to date him. I have a scheme. I will drop them on the old man. He is too weak to say no. I will claim I go to a clinic. He will buy it. He wishes it was true. I will hide for some years. He will raise them. He will spend his cash. Then when he dies or gets too old, I will return. I will say I am cured. I will take the kids and sell his house. It is my right anyway. Why wait for his death? If I am smart, I win it all. The kids are just tools. With the cash, I will send them far to school. I just want freedom." I read it 2 times, then a third. The dark words burned my eyes. The kids are just tools. Why wait for his death? It was not a sad escape. It was a big trick. She built this plot 6 years ago. She looked at her own kids. She only saw tools for rich pay later. She saw me as a bank to rob, not a dad. I shut the book. Cold calm filled my chest. This was it, hard proof of a set crime, proof she was no sick victim. She was a cold snake playing a long game. "This flips it all," I said. I looked up at Vance. "It shows her true dark intent." Vance nodded. "It proves deep fraud. It proves she is a threat to the kids. But Arthur, we have a block." "What block?" "The book is useless if we lack proof it is real. Sterling will cry fake. He will claim you made it. We need an ink pro. We lack the time. Court is early tomorrow." I hit the glass. "I do not need a pro, Vance. I have a better tool." "What?" "I kept the notes she sent from the clinic the first 5 weeks she was gone, the ones begging for cash. The writing is an exact match. And I possess the stamped book from the day she signed the green envelope paper. Her name is on it all. We will bury her in her own ink." Vance nodded. A dark grin touched his mouth. "You frighten people, old man," he said. "I'm a grandpa," I told him. "Tomorrow I will show them what that means." "Take this," I said, sliding the red spiral notebook to him. "Copy it. Hand the real one to Dr. Montgomery if a new lawyer comes in time. If not, you take it to court. Sit right up front, Vance. I want her to see you hold this. I want her to know we own her soul." Vance stood up. "I will be there. Carmine is hunting you, Arthur. He knows you are here. He has men inside. Be careful tonight." I stared at the hard walls. "Let them try," I said. "I fear nothing now." Vance left. I was alone. The cell was no longer a cage. It was a waiting room. I kept the diary's words close to my heart. "The kids are just pawns. Tomorrow I flip the board. The pawns will be kings. The queen will fall." I lay on my cot. I shut my eyes. For the first time in 6 years, I slept without dreams. I had a plan. Jail lights stay on. They just dim to a sick yellow hum. It sounds like a dying bug. It was a very long night. I sat on my thin bed. My back touched the cold wall. I put memories on the blanket, not papers. I sorted them. I split my love for my grandkids from my hate for their mom. I had to be clear. I had to be a machine. My mind went to my shop. I held my top chisel. It had a worn wood grip. I heard the wet stone. Steel scraped on stone, back and forth. It got sharp enough to cut paper quietly. I did that to my mind. I made it sharp. I ground away all doubt. I ground away my fear of dying in jail. I ground away my last bit of dad love for Jessica. She was not my girl now. She was the foe. You give no mercy to foes at your door. A guard walked past. His boots hit the floor hard. He stopped by my door. He was not the normal guard. This guy was young. He had a thick neck and fast eyes. He hit the bars with his club. The loud ring hurt my teeth. "Sleep well, old man," he said low. "Tomorrow is big." Carmen says hi. I kept my head down. I did not jump. I just sharpened the knife in my mind. He stood there. He wanted me to be scared. When I did not react, he spat on the ground and left. They tried to shake me. They tried to break my aim, but they were wrong. You cannot shake a man who has lost it all. You just make him deadly. At 3:00 a.m. I used my right to help my own case. I asked for the phone. The night cop was tired. He had seen too much. Rumbled but said yes. He took me to the phones. I did not call Vance. Vance did his job. I called a number I learned 6 years ago. Officer Hayes answered. He sounded sleepy. "Hayes, it is Arthur," I said. He paused. "Arthur, do not call me. I am a witness against you. I put you in jail." "I know," I said. "But you wrote the report 6 years ago. You saw Ethan's bruised arm. That was the first week. You are a good cop, Hayes. I need a good cop tomorrow." "What do you want, Arthur?" he asked. "Pull a cold file," I said. "The pick-and-go theft on 5th Street, 6 years ago, May 16th. Hayes took a breath. "That is a dead case. No driver was found." "My girl was the driver," I said. The line went quiet. "Arthur, watch your words," he said. "I am proving it, Hayes. I have proof. I have a tape. But I need you to bring a warrant. Be in court tomorrow. Do not be against me. Be a cop ready to make an arrest." "You have a tape?" Hayes asked. He sounded awake now. "I do," I said. "The judge will see it tomorrow. If you are not there, she will run. Carmen has a plane. If she takes the kids, they are gone for good. Arthur, do not lie to me." "I never lied to you, Hayes. Not about your truck, not about this. Be there. Bring your partner and the file." I hung up. He would come. Cops are nosy. Justice is their drug. Hayes would show up. I walked to my cell. The air felt full of energy now. My pieces were set. The diary, the green envelope, the tape, the debt. I made a trap for Jessica. She would walk right into it tomorrow. I sat on the bed. I shut my eyes and saw the court. I saw the judge. I saw Sterling's nice suit. I saw Jessica's fake crying. I ran the scene in my head. I planned for their lies. I thought of Walter, my dead neighbor. He said, "Truth is a lion. You do not guard it. You let it out." Tomorrow I would open the cage. I did not sleep. I had no need. I watched the sun rise through the high, tiny window. The dim light came in. The dark walls turned gray. It was Tuesday, the big day. A guard came at 7:00. He held chains. "Let's go, boss," he mocked. I stood. I fixed my shirt. I held out my arms. The chains felt light. It all felt light. I was not a doomed man. I was a fighter entering the ring. I walked the hall. The chains made a beat. I kept my head high. I looked straight ahead. I was ready. The knife was sharp. The trap was laid. I brought the storm. The court was colder than my cell. It had a deep chill from stone floors and hard law. I sat by myself at the table. The empty seat hurt my case. I had on the gray prison uniform. It smelled like cheap soap and stale sweat. My wrists hurt from the cuffs. They just took them off. The other table looked like rich bosses. Sterling sat there smug. He set his papers up like a neat doctor. Jessica was by him. She had a new look. Today she wore a charcoal suit. It had a high neck and a small gold medallion. She looked tiny and weak. She played the huge victim. She wiped her dry eyes with lace. When she sniffled, the judge looked soft. Judge Harrison was strict. She wore her gray hair in a tight bun. She looked over her glasses at me. I knew what she saw. She did not see a kind grandpa. She saw a bad thug. She saw a man who broke a door with a tool. She saw a thief. Sterling stood up. His deep voice filled the room with sick lies. It made my head spin. "Your Honor," he said. He walked slowly. "This is bad child theft. A mom beat her bad habits. She fought 6 years to get her kids back. But a bossy grandpa broke the law. He stole them. He hid them. When she came back, he hit people to keep them." He pointed at me. I stayed still. I just looked at him. I learned his lies. The first person came up. It was Mrs. Patterson, my neighbor. I cleaned her roof for 12 years. She did not look at me. She held her bag tight. I knew why. She had a new car last week. She has no money. Carmen bought it. His bad cash touched my street. Sterling asked her, "Did you hear bad things from the King house?" Mrs. Patterson nodded. She looked down. "Yes, lots. I heard loud yells. Mr. King yelled at the kids. He said their mom was dead. He said only he loved them. I heard glass break. It was all a big lie. I never yelled at Ethan or Lily, not even once. Our home was safe and quiet, but Mrs. Patterson made up fake abuse." The room felt tight. The judge wrote fast. Her pen sounded like a knife. Next was Gary. We played cards. We drank beer before. He sat down and lied. He said I drank too much. He said I fell in the yard. He said I was too mad for the kids to be safe. I have not had a drink in 18 years, I thought. Gary knew it, but Gary owed the bank a lot. I looked at him. I wanted him to see the real me, but he looked at the wall. He spoke like a bad actor. I felt choked. It was a heavy weight on my soul. Lies buried me alive. Truth had no power here. Facts meant nothing. They just liked a good story. Their story was great. They paid folks to lie. They set it up. They made me the bad guy. At last, they called Jessica. She walked up like a doomed soul. She shook. She sat and looked at me fast. I saw joy hide under her tears. "Tell us," Sterling said soft. "Why did you go away 6 years ago?" Jessica took a fake, hard breath. "I did not want to go. He made me. He said I was bad. He said he would call the cops with lies if I stayed. I was scared. I was young, so I went far away to get clean. I wrote him every week. I wanted to talk to Ethan and Lily. He said no. He blocked me. He stole my babies." She cried hard into her hands. Her act could make a rock sad. The judge felt deep pity for her. Then she looked at me with hate. "When you came back," Sterling asked. "He tried to kill us," Jessica cried. "He came to our room. He had a metal bar. He hit my man. He yelled I would never see my kids. I thought I would die. I just want to be a mom. I want to take my babies home and end this bad dream." The room was quiet. She just cried. I sat still. My fists were tight. I wanted to yell. I wanted to shout she was a fake. She took drugs and sold out to a bad man, but yelling would just help them. It would show I was a mad brute. I was stuck in their box. The walls pressed in. I looked at the judge. She made up her mind. She would give them it all. She would give Ethan and Lily to a mom who saw them as tools. Sweat ran down my back. This is what sinking feels like. You fight, but the water wins. Sterling looked at me and smiled. He checked his gold watch. He thought he won. He thought the old man was done. But inside the unfair room with bad friends and a lying girl, I touched my pocket. I felt the sharp edge of the green envelope. It was there. The cops missed it. They did not look close. Let her cry, I thought. Let them lie. Let them build a tall lie tower. It will crash hard. The judge cleared her throat. "Mr. King," she said with a cold voice, "do you have questions? Do you have any case at all?" I stood up slow. My foot chains made a harsh noise in the still room. I did not look at the judge. I looked at Jessica. She stopped crying. She looked at me with worry. "Yes, Your Honor," I said. My voice was rough but firm. "I have no lawyer. I have no paid friends, but I have one thing to ask." I walked past the table. I walked to her. I did not look smart. I looked like a crook, but my girl got scared when I got close. She knew I was not done. She knew the game was still on. I took a deep breath. The choked feeling left me. Now my mind was cold and sharp. The quiet room felt thick. It pushed down on me like real weight. Judge Harrison moved her glasses. The light hit her eyes. She looked at me. She had no pity for me. She just looked done. She tapped her papers. It sounded like a door slamming shut for good. I knew that stare. She chose her path. She heard the sad tale. She saw the wet eyes. She saw me in my gray prison uniform. She made her choice. To her, I was an old, mean problem. She wanted to give a mom her kids back. "Mr. King," she said loud in the big room. "I heard enough. This is a bad scene. A mom tried to fix her life. A grandpa got too mean and bossy." She reached for her hammer. "That wood block kept my kids safe from hell. If she hit it, we lost. Ethan and Lily would go with Carmen soon. They would vanish. I give full rights to the mom." She spoke like dropping rocks. "I also order you to stay away." "Your Honor." My voice was not loud, but it was sharp. It cut her off. I stood up straight. My chains clanked loud. It was a harsh sound against the neat law rules. "Sit down, Mr. King," the judge barked. Her eyes got small. "I am ruling now. Your turn is over." "I had no turn," I said. My heart beat fast, but my voice held firm. "I heard lies for 2 hours. I heard a play made by a bad man. A girl who sold her soul read the lines. "You are making a huge error, Your Honor, an error you will regret forever." The guard stepped up. He touched his shotgun. Sterling smiled wide. He leaned back. He thought I was doomed. He thought a madman was yelling. "Mr. King, last warning," Judge Harrison said loud. "Sit or you leave. I will end this without you." I stayed up. I ignored the guard. I looked at Jessica. She watched me. Her eyes were big and wet with fake tears, but I saw deep fear hide inside. She knew what I had. She knew my secret. "I speak for myself," I said loud, "so I have the right to test her facts. I can show things to prove she lies." The judge stopped. She looked at me, then the guard, then me again. She saw my face. Maybe it was my bold look. Maybe she had no fear, or maybe she was nosy. She put her hand down, but she held the hammer. "You are close to jail, Mr. King," she said. "You get 1 minute. Say one bad thing, I will gag you. You will go away for a long time." 1 minute is fine," I said. I reached in my suit pocket. The guard got stiff. He was ready to pull his gun. I moved very slow. I took out the green envelope. It looked tiny in my rough hand. It meant nothing to them. To me it was a ton. I walked to her. Jessica slid back. "Just one ask, Your Honor," I said. "Just one." I stood by my girl. I did not look mad. I looked very sad. "Jessica," I said. I held up the green envelope. The official stamp showed. "You said you fought to come back. You said I pushed you out." I stepped closer. "So tell the judge. If you want them so much, why sign this?" The room died. The air hummed. A bug hit the glass. They all stared at the paper. Then they stared at Jessica. Her mask fell. The sad mom was gone. A scared kid showed up. The lie was breaking. Jessica stared at the green envelope. The air shook with her fear. She blinked fast. She looked at the paper, then me, then Sterling. She was thinking hard. She tried to recall it. She dug through 6 years of fog and lies to know what I held. Then the mask went back on. She let out a small, fake laugh. It sounded like glass breaking. She shook her head. She acted like the paper was trash. "I do not know what that is," she said. Her voice shook again. "Is this a crazy dream, Dad? Will you read a fake note? Or a kid's art you stole?" Sterling stood up fast. He fixed his coat. "Your Honor, this is dumb. He is wasting time. He waves junk mail around. We say no to this talk. It means nothing. It is mean." Judge Harrison looked at me. Her face was blank. She did not hit the wood block. She leaned in. She stared at the green envelope. "Mr. King," she said low, "you asked a thing. She says she does not know it. Get to the point." I ignored the judge. I ignored Sterling. I just watched my girl. I stepped right up to the box. I smelled her. It was heavy flower smell. It hid her bad past. "I'm not asking about the envelope, Jessica," I said. My voice went low. It felt close, just us two talking, but everyone heard. "I'm asking about May 16th, 6 years ago." Jessica frowned. She faked deep thought. "May 16th, she said. "I was in the clinic. I was sick. Dad, you know this. Why do this?" I waited. I let the lie sit in the air. The quiet got bad. The typer stopped and looked up. "You were not in a clinic," I said. "It was Tuesday. It rained. It rained for 4 days. The river was full. Do you know the rain, Jessica?" She rolled her eyes. She looked like a brat kid, not a sad mom. "Oh, wow," she huffed. She looked at the judge. "He talks about rain, Your Honor. He talks crazy. He gets dates mixed up. His mind is gone. He is senile, senile." She used the word to hurt me. She wanted to make me look dumb and old. She smiled a mean smile at the folks. "See what I face," it said. I did not get mad. I kept quiet. A cold calm hit me, the kind of calm before a hunter shoots. She was in the trap. I recalled the rain. I kept going. I ignored her mean words. I stood by the cop house. It was 3:00 a.m. "You called me, Jessica. You used your one phone chance. What did you say?" She got stiff. Her smile broke. "I never called," she hissed. "You make it up. You are mad." "You cried," I said soft. "You shook. You could barely hold the phone. You said they caught you. You faced 12 years. You said you would die in jail. You begged me, Jessica. You said, 'Dad, please, I will do it all. Just get me out.'" "Lies," she yelled. Her smooth act broke. "He lies, Your Honor. Stop him. He makes up tales to hurt me." Sterling yelled too. He said law words, but I tuned him out. I heard my girl's fast heart. "I paid the court," I said. My tone was like a slow drum. "I took $6,000 from Mom's death fund, the cash for your big day. I walked in. I paid them. We sat in my truck. The rain hit the top hard. We yelled to talk." I paused. I looked deep in her eyes. I wanted to see my kid. I just saw greed and fright. "That is when you signed," I said. I held up the paper. "You signed to run from jail. You signed to run from work. You ran with bikers. You threw the weight away." Jessica laughed big. It sounded wild and crazy. You are old and dumb, she spat. It is empty, maybe a card, maybe food lists, you wave trash like a gun. You are sad, you are lonely, you made up a dream, your girl hates you. She leaned on the wood, her hands turned white. Do it, she mocked. Open it, show the list, show how mad you are. She was so smug, she thought I bluffed, or she thought it meant nothing now. She felt she won. She thought the old fool story worked. I looked at the judge. May I, Your Honor, she nodded slow. Her eyes glued to the paper. I flipped it. I did not rip it. I pulled the glue back. It stayed shut for 6 years. The rip was very loud. I took out one page. It was no food list. It was real law paper. It had a stamp. It was yellow but clear. I did not fight her. I called no names. I just showed the top line. It is no card, Jessica, I said. My tone was flat and final. It is a receipt. Now they will all see what you sold. The sheet was a clear mirror. I showed it to the crowd, Sterling and the judge. They all thought I was bad before. It was old paper. The black stamp ink was sharp, giving up all parent rights. The words were bold. I gave it to the desk lady. She stamped it. Her eyes got huge as she read. I looked at Jessica. She was stuck. Her mouth hung open. The smug smirk vanished. Her eyes glued to the paper like a ghost. You forgot, yes, I asked. The sound bounced in the still room. You were too high. You forgot you signed, but I know. I know the rain. I know the bad drink smell. I know our deal. Sterling jumped up. His chair fell. Stop, Your Honor. This is a shock piece. We did not check it. Judge Harrison ignored him. She took the page. She put on her glasses. The room froze. I watched her read. Her brows went tight. Her mouth went flat. It says here, Mr. King, she read loud. Her tone cut the thick air. Jessica King freely gave all care of Ethan and Lily King to Arthur King on May 16th, 6 years ago. It says this trade was for court cash. Mr. King paid it for. She stopped. She looked at Jessica. Drug sales and gun theft. A gasp filled the room. It rolled from the back. News folks typed fast. Jessica turned pure white. She looked at Sterling. He stared at the page. His face lost its pink. He had no clue. She lied to him too. That is a lie, Jessica screamed. She stood up. He faked it. He forced me. I did not know I was ill. I was forced. I stayed calm. I did not yell. I dug in my pocket. I took out a small black drive. I knew you would say that, I said. Minds play tricks when you hide the past. But film is true. I held the drive. This is shop tape. My pal ran the place. He saved it. It shows you walk in. You read it for 12 minutes. You ask things. You sign. The talk is best. I turned to the judge. May I? She nodded. She pointed to a laptop. Play it. I plugged it in. The big screen flashed. The film was gray and rough, but it was her. Jessica, 6 years younger, looked wild. She walked fast in a small room. I sat in a chair. I looked sad. Sound popped. Her voice boomed loud. Just give the cash, Dad. I do not care for them. They slow me down. I cannot raise them. I want Reno. Give the money. Take the pages. On the wall, young Jessica grabbed a pen. She signed fast. She grabbed my check. Good luck, the tape said. You need it. I am free. I paused the clip. It froze on her laugh. She held the check. The door shut. The room made no noise. The ugly truth took all the breath away. Jessica stood still. She shook. She held the wood tight. She looked tiny. She looked bare. The sad mom act melted. Just a greedy girl stayed on the screen. Is that force, Jessica? I asked soft. It went far in the big room. Is that a mom fighting for kids or a girl selling them for $6,000 to party in Reno? Jessica opened her mouth. Nothing came out. She looked at the judge. The judge looked sick. She looked at the folks. They looked away. She looked at Sterling. He closed his bag. He backed away from the mess. Then she looked at me. I saw no hate now. I saw defeat. The game ended. The lie house fell. She was crushed under it. I turned to the bench. She did not come back for love, Your Honor, I said. She spent the cash. She has a bad debt. She thought I was too old to fight. I pointed up. She guessed wrong. The judge lifted her hammer, but I raised my hand. I pointed back. The big doors hit the walls hard. The room jumped. Cop Hayes walked in. He had 2 state guards. He held bright silver cuffs. He walked up the middle rug. His boots hit hard. He stared right at Jessica. She backed into the wood. Her hands shook like leaves in a storm. Jessica King, Hayes boomed to the roof. You are caught for the gun theft at Pick and Go 6 years ago. You ran from the law. Your dad gave us tape proof. We know you drove the run car. Jessica screamed. It was a thin, wild animal sound. She looked for a way out. There was none. The guard blocked the bench. She looked at Sterling. He packed his bag fast. His face was blank. I quit as her lawyer, Sterling stuttered. He looked at his shoes. I did not know she hid from cops. I cannot help her now. He did not wait. He took his coat, he ran out the side door like a scared rat. Jessica stood alone in her ruin. Hayes stepped up. He spun her fast. The cuffs clicked. It was the best sound ever. The law finally won. It was the finish. "You cannot do this." She yelled. She fought Hayes. "Carmen is out there. He waits. He will kill you." Hayes got close. He spoke loud enough for me. "Carmen waits for no one, Jessica. We grabbed him 12 minutes ago. We found a bad gun under his seat. He goes away a long time. He begged for a deal to trap you right away." Jessica's face fell hard. Her power died. Her guard was gone. Her lawyer fled. Her lies broke. She was a crook in a nice suit. She faced the dad she tried to crush. They pulled her out. She kicked and yelled bad words. The crowd gasped. She looked at me one last time by the table. Her eyes held hate and dread. She knew her fate. She went to a place with no tricks. I stood in my gray prison uniform. I did not feel locked up. I felt totally free. The judge looked down. Her sick look faded. She showed shock and awe. She hit the block hard one time. "Case tossed," she said. "Mr. King, you leave now. I give you full, forever care of Ethan and Lily King." I let out a 6-year breath. The storm broke. The bad folks ate each other. I stood safe in the quiet eye. I looked at the bare door. I felt no deep joy. I just felt glad it ended. Hawks were locked up. Mice were safe. The ride home was still, not a tense jail quiet. It was a good, right world quiet. Ethan sat front. He held the spare phone tight like a charm. Lily slept back there. Her head hit the glass. Her thumb was in her mouth. She looked like a baby who beat a war. We drove in. The sun went down. It made long lines on the grass. Egg spots dried on the wall. The black spray paint was bad, but it was not a crime spot now. It was a chore. We could paint it. I took Lily in. I laid her on the couch with her toy. Ethan stood in the room. He looked for Carmen to jump out. "Is he gone, Grandpa?" he asked soft. "For real, he is gone, Ethan," I said. I got on one knee. "He is gone forever. Your mom too, for a long while." Ethan nodded. He did not ask where. He did not ask why. His 12-year-old brain knew. That lady was not a true mom. She was a bad storm. The storm was past. I walked to the stove. I just flipped the small stove light on. It made a nice yellow glow. I boiled a pot of water. "What is for dinner?" Ethan leaned on the wood. "Mac and cheese," I said. "The best kind, lots of cheese." He gave a tiny smile, first smile in 4 days. "Can I help?" "Yes." Grab the big spoon. We cooked with no words. Just bubbles and spoon scrapes. It was a basic meal, box noodles, fake cheese, a bit of milk. We ate right from the pot. We lacked plates. It tasted like a pure win. It tasted like home. Lily woke up to the smell. She walked in and rubbed her eyes. She climbed on my lap. I fed her cheesy pasta. She put her head on me. She heard my heart. "Grandpa," she said. "Yes, Bug." "Are we safe?" I kissed her head. She smelled like cheap soap and sweet kid. "We are safe," I said. "We are home." Wind hit the front tree outside. Tomorrow I clean the black paint. Tomorrow I fix the wood. Tomorrow I call the school. I tell them the kids are back, but tonight we just sit. We stay warm. We eat cheese pasta. The fight ended. Monsters left. We stayed. It was all I needed. I learned a tough rule. Folks say blood is thick. Family is key. But family can be the bad wind. You must be the safe house. Being a dad or grandpa is not about blood. It is about being there. You guard the weak.